And welcome once again to Living in the 21st Century. Joining me today again is Vasil Shevchenko, former Minister of Transportation in Ukraine. My brother, it's good to have you on.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you for having me.
Yes. So apparently a lot had been going on recently there in Ukraine with Zelensky signing the minerals deals with the United States. You're looking at a 30-day ceasefire and so forth. My first question now to you, what does the minerals deal have beneficial to Ukraine by signing it? How does it benefit the Ukraine? Would it hold off the Russian forces? Would it put Putin at rest? What do you think is going to happen here?
First of all, I think that it's a good idea to unite United States and Ukraine, because Ukraine is a rich country in the sphere natural resources, and Ukraine is big producer different type of raw materials, and we are interested in cooperation. And because of it, we are going to be a European Union member because we have a lot of goods to sell abroad. And now we lack funding for different projects, for recycling, for building it for building plant which would be implemented in the world system and which would give us cooperation with different markets. And because of it, cooperation in this sphere is a really interesting project just to improve business conditions in Ukraine, because now we are living in the wartime conditions which was implemented by Ukrainian president. And very often when companies going to go to Ukraine must have extra insurance for their own business for different type of risks, and because of it doesn't allow to have profit, and as a result to fulfill the budget promises and expectations, and as a result to spend it for defense sphere. And because of it, it's interesting interesting project, and now it's changed its name. Now it's a fund for recovery of Ukraine, and the situation will demonstrate how it will work, because it's something new in the sphere of international relations. But nevertheless, according to the Ukraine and United States law, and if it give us extra promises for investors from different countries, first of all from United States, because it's accounted for cooperation with United States industry companies, it will be great for Ukraine, for development, for implementing in world economy. And my opinion is a good idea. And then I think that after discussion concerning this natural materials deals, appeared information that Russians is ready to start negotiations with the United States concerning raw earth materials. Okay. And it doesn't work because Russia doesn't have good infrastructure, unlike Ukraine.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Do you think by signing the new minerals deal with Ukraine that this would hold off Putin from continuously attacking Ukraine? Do you think America would step up and protect its invested interests?
I'd say that Russia is stopped at the battlefield. They cannot move further. And now we account for extra support in the sphere of providing weapon, ammunition, and we know that our European partners has enough money and promised us enough money to cover expenditures for buying United States weapon, and it's extremely important for United States to demonstrate the quality of United States weapon, to demonstrate that United States is a good partner in sphere of military relations, and to demonstrate that these technologies are working more effectively at the battlefield, thanks to Ukrainian soldiers. And I think that this idea will be based on future cooperation. And for example, we have received a lot of signal from Russia Federation that Russia is weakened. Russia doesn't have enough resources to develop anything. They have to cut their budget for this year. They have really huge problems in the sphere of economy. But nevertheless, I think that the results of this so-called military parade took place yesterday. We could see that Russians are in close relation with China, and we can see that China share the same idea Russians expressed from the very beginning. For example, when they tried to speak to discuss negotiations about ceasefire, they say yes, but we have a lot of questions to discuss before, and these questions based on their interest to dominate in Eastern Europe, to dominate above European partners, and made them to leave NATO bloc, to destroy NATO bloc. It's their interest, and Ukraine is only pretext for further discussion with United States, because you know that they are interested in cooperation, but they are interested in being among developed countries, because before Russia's president was isolated. During 3 years, he visited only one country, it's Mongolia, and because there is warrant for him for children kidnapping. And he afraid to go anywhere, and because of it, he wants, if in their discussion, he wants to start negotiation concerning Eastern Europe countries, them demands to Ukraine to leave our four Ukrainian regions. They haven't managed to capture, but they demand we have to withdraw Ukrainian troops just to give them, because they illegally included this region in own constitution. Just imagine. And it means that any negotiations with the Russia Federation without different type of pressure means nothing. For example, he promised ceasefire for 2 days, and this promise, his opinion was shared by world media, but actually they haven't stopped attacking Ukraine's forces. The only moment they decided not to attack by drones Ukraine, because they were interested in not shelling, not attacking Russia's military objects during this parade.
So recently, we've heard that the European nations, along with the United States, is trying to negotiate this 30-day ceasefire, and it doesn't appear that that's what Putin wants. This is something that the European nations are waiting for. I also read that they're looking at strengthening the kind of support for Ukraine. Do you see Ukraine at this point in a very good place of not only becoming a bona fide member in NATO nations, but also at the same very time commanding its sovereignty away from Russia precepts and concepts about what they think Ukraine should be?
Today, Ukraine is visited by French President Emmanuel Macron, Mr. Starmer, Prime Minister of Great Britain, and Chancellor Germany, Mr. Rutte. And they discussed this question, and I saw the information that they, during this conversation, that they had conversation with United States President concerning their initiative to propose Russia Federation to start ceasefire for 30 days, just to have opportunity to implement the peace agreement maybe. But I saw immediate information from Russia Federation. They are ready to discuss, but they have the list of questions to Ukraine, to European partners. They are ready to discuss. It's Ukraine and war in Ukraine. It's pretext to demand canceling sanctions, to have permission for transporting different type of material, oil, natural gas, to transport, to sell natural gas in Russia Federation, to sell their different raw materials. But all these questions can be discussed only in one case. They would withdraw troops from Ukraine and liberate Ukraine. It depends on him. He can start it immediately to make first step, but he ordered their troops to continue shelling. Many Russians about 1 million Russians have been killed or heavily wounded in Ukraine, but they don't care because it's a type of promotion, their strengths and their cooperation with autocratic countries. For example, when you look at the list of visitors who visited this Russia during this day, you will see the more than 20 autocratic country leaders. And these countries are afraid Russia Federation, are interested in cooperation in the sphere of first of all military industry, because they are ready or they are preparing to attack their neighbors, and it's actually dangerous, especially when we discuss that from European Union, from 27 European countries, only one representative, Slovakia's leader, visited Russia Federation, but the European country closed for him airspace, and he have to fly around Europe and to land to Russia Federation during flying during long hours in his plane. And I cannot say that it's appropriate for Europeans, because Europeans knows this type of negotiations, that Russia Federation will demand extra questions. These questions are from the different spheres. And the same situation, for example, I saw that results of their negotiations, and that Mr. Witkov, special United States President envoy, will go to Russia Federation and will demonstrate him the list with demands from European Union and United States countries. But I'm sure that answer will be the same. They will answer that they will have many questions to every country, because it's type of promotion. For example, they are not interested in peace, because peace doesn't allow them to demand something. But this invasion, they wanted from the very beginning to take Ukraine under control and to threaten for European Union, to demonstrate that they are ready to destroy NATO bloc, to provoke NATO bloc, because nobody knows how will NATO bloc will answer if they will try to attack. And for example, what happened if this country will be attacked by North Koreans, whose partners Russians in this war? Who will be blamed in attacking? Who will destroy? Who will try to destroy NATO bloc to attack? And for example, we know that North Koreans cannot act without China's permission. Because North Korea exists thanks to China, which providing them the products and different materials, and they are proxy, and this proxy are in cooperation with Russia. And now we can see that it's fighting for markets to destroy European Union, to weaken United States, to weaken West, and they have demonstrated that they have created the new point of influence in the world. But what kind of point of influence? That dictatorship will dominate in this country, or what will they do? They have domination in own country. They don't have media. They don't have more or less economy, appropriate economy. They are ready to attack their neighbors, who's developed countries, who has technology, and they are ready to exist at the expense of their neighbors. It's tactics, and I think that it's really a huge threat for all countries, who belongs to developed countries, because it appears that support for Ukraine doesn't work according to our willing, because, for example, if we have enough weapon, we would be able to drive Russians away. So it happened from the very beginning. But then they received extra time, and this time was spent for negotiations concerning weapon, and they received half a year for building fortifications and mining, building fortification, and their industry was producing concrete just to build these fortifications. And because of it, Ukraine's offense was not successful in those time because of lack weapon and lack domination in the sky. And as a result, that Russians were informed half a year before this attack. And we received these results.
Yes. So do you think that this new minerals agreement between the United States and Ukraine present the opportunity for Ukrainian alliance to seriously consider the reinfrastructure physically and economically by investing in Ukraine? Is there any light through, despite of the war, that they may be seeing this opportunity right now to rebuild Ukraine and getting involved in a more systematic way?
First of all, I'd say that Ukraine is part of is neighbor biggest market in one from the biggest market in the world. It's European Union market, and this market has limits. But for Ukraine, it's market for Ukrainian products and for investors who will come to Ukraine, and as in exchange will receive opportunity to work with European market, biggest market in the world. And then we receive these standards, and we expect that our budget and our GDP will grow in times. For example, just after war or ceasefire, if we have enough resources to deter Russia Federation, we will be ready to work with to work in economical sphere without limits, because we must have. We have many, not only natural resources, not only low earth metals. We have a lot of raw materials in the sphere. For example, providing countries by food. For example, food is becoming more important than natural resources, because number of people on the earth is growing, and Ukraine doesn't have funding resources for building new plants, and new plants which have been built in Ukraine before the war haven't got to bankruptcy. All of them are profitable. And Ukraine received technology. It was last generation plants, and its plants are more effective. And as a result of building, Ukraine Ukraine and investors who's working in Ukraine will have good profit and good relations and infrastructure. For example, Ukraine has biggest railway in Europe. And for example, when Ukraine tried to transport through Poland, through Poland our goods, when Ukrainians Black Sea routes were blocked by Russia Federation, it appeared that our neighbors railway has no enough power to transport it. And it means that, but nevertheless, according to the European program, European facility are being rebuilt. Connections with European routes, and after Russia invasion, so-called European routes received extra funding, and they were diverted to Ukraine, and Ukraine has received new European routes for transporting materials, for easy and cheap transporting these materials around Europe, and Ukraine as a member European Union. And if we speak about world markets, Ukraine has world markets for different type of materials. Different type of materials Ukraine is selling around the world. First of all, raw materials are being bought by China from Ukraine. Products and raw materials, and in this case I cannot say how it can looks, but I think that we have to trade between countries whose allies, who belongs to developed countries, just to enrich each other and to strengthen each other, not to cooperate with a country which are resisting us. And because of it, I'd say that all these moments will be corrected according to the European Union, and it will be the same type of relation. For example, United States investors are ready to work to be understandable, because we have a lot of reforms in the sphere of court system, in the sphere of economy, concerning taxes, which would be good for investors. And before the war was launched, service concerning support international investors in different spheres. And I think that this deal will bring, I hope it will bring profitable business for company which is ready to go here. And as far as I know, here will be working United States famous companies. I heard that BlackRock will come, will provide different services, and United States company which are providing current insurance service for goods which are being transported from Ukraine through the newly opened sea routes. Ukraine forces managed to liberate and are holding under control using different type of marine drones. Then I think that it will be part of world system. And for example, Ukrainians has according to the polls, Ukrainians' favorite people is United States citizens, Americans. We respect United States people who supported us in most difficult, most challenging time. We remember, and we are ready to cooperate with every company which is ready to work. And we became closer because we have many volunteers from United States who's in cooperation with Ukraine, and it's most important things to be understandable for each other, and it has happened. Yeah, and it has happened. Yes, thanks sure. You, and thanks to every American.
Well, I'm hoping for the best for Ukraine, that this war will be over with pretty soon. We have now come to the end of our program. Vasil, it's always a pleasure having you on. We look forward to seeing each other again. And to all those who have been tuning in and living in the 21st century, have a great day.